Tim, talk for me.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. Checking account. Insufficient funds.
Okay. Tim, are you gonna remember how to do this?
Cut. Hey everybody, welcome to my studio. I am Tim Carey. We are here in this semi-organized, chaotic place. I'm here to talk to you about painting. Painting. Are you a painter? Do you love painting? Do you love paintings? Well, I do, and I've been a painter for over 30 years now. My career has taken all kinds of twists and turns. Now I'm a glass painter. I work with glass. The reason I work with glass, to me, it's the most vibrant, color-filled, light-filled, and emotive media that there is. I started working with glass as a stained glass artist and moved my way into fusing. What I want to get across is how incredible fusing can be as a painting medium. Well, today I'm working on a portrait of my friend and my mentor. His name is Narcissus Quagliata. This is the great Narcissus Quagliata. NQ, sometimes known as the maestro.
I used to be the young rebel, and then all of a sudden I became a maestro.
Who started calling you that?
In Mexico, of course, and in Italy.
I'm speaking to painters now when I say that we just love light, right? We love light, we love textures, we love all of the formal qualities of what painting is. To me, glass is the ultimate medium to convey that. If you are a painter, you'll probably get this, and you'll probably tell yourself, I could do that. And you can. You just kind of go for it. I want to create converts. I want to teach people how to do this. This is not a class. I'm just going to go through a little bit of how I work with paint. It took me a while to kind of develop my own sort of style, I guess you'd call it, with painting. Because a lot of times when you're learning how to do something that has this very long tradition, you get taught the rules. As soon as you decide, well, I don't have to sort of obey all the traditional rules, then you can really start to develop something that's your own. So for me, it just became being loose and being spontaneous. And that might not be for everybody. You know, there's a lot of incredible glass painters out there that are very, very much involved with rendering and stippling, and it can result in some amazing works. Now I got at some point take this off the drawing and see what I got underneath here. Oh, this represents the first layer of just tracing. And yeah, it doesn't look very good. But it's not supposed to look good at this point. Okay, well now it's time to go to town on the painting and pull it all together and make it look a little more like this. And then of course, as this technique goes, the colored glass goes on top. Then we fire it, and then we paint it again, and we bring it all together. But it's splattering, and I'm gonna just start to tonalize this thing with the paint. It is very, very sensual. Oop, more splattery accidental.
You went a little far. The other ones were kind of smaller, weren't they?
There's no such thing as going too far, man.
What?
There's no such thing as going too far.
I just kind of wanted to mimic that.
Because you can always go back. That's the thing. You can always go back. If you put too much on, you can take it off. You know, watch my favorite brush right here. Bam. And what's crazy is that the things that I am applying to painting on glass are no different than what I learned when I was at Art Center. I fell in love with painting originally because it was tactile, there was light involved, there was textures, and you can have your own hand and your brushwork in there. Now, did you guys know, everybody out there, that Picasso worked with glass? He didn't do this, but he worked in a technique called Gemot. And so did Braque, the cubist Braque. And so they were working with glass pieces that they were mosaicing together, and they fell in love with the light. Gemot was this technique created in France in the early 1900s, and it was essentially cutting up pieces of glass, kind of gluing them together, putting them in an oven, trying to make the glass look like a transparent painting. And so when Picasso saw it, he was like, oh my gosh. And I think he has a quote, "A great new art form has been born." And he made a bunch of pieces, portraits and things that are still around, but that art form kind of died out because it just wasn't really sustainable. And you know, as an artist, you want your work to be permanent. They didn't really have the technology to continue making the glass in a way that it would be stable and last. That's where Bullseye comes in.
The people who started this company in the late 70s managed to figure out how to make glasses that, when joined together in a kiln, could survive cooling back down to room temperature. I mean, disparate colors, a whole palette. Before we started doing this material was not available, ever, in the history of the world.
Bullseye developed glasses that could be fused together successfully in a kiln and would hold up over time. That's our single biggest accomplishment.
All of us fusers owe a lot to Bullseye for the technology that allows us to work this way. So they're up in Portland, and you should check them out. Oh, and they make the best glass. Just glass painting to me, unlike a lot of other types of painting, is very primal. It just taps into your instincts as a mark maker. And of course, you're gonna have your own style, and everybody does. People will approach it differently, like any art form is, but it's just so versatile. That's the thing, is it can be this, what I'm doing, it can be something really loose, it could be something really tight. Anybody with any kind of painting style can approach glass paint comfortably, knowing that they can replicate it on transparent light. I mean, come on, what's better than that? What makes the technique special is that, yes, you can jump into it with paint, but then the magic comes when you start to add the color to it. Adding bits of glass on top of the paint, adding pieces of sliders, adding sheet glass, adding frit, and then firing it, and then you coming back with the paint and being able to add more detail on top. So it's this through and through piece that you end up making that's not like an oil painting that's paint on something. Piece is the painting, front to back. It's good, it's real good. I mean, it's good. The art world is saturated in all the traditional media. And so this is new, it's brand new. It's sky's the limit for what can be done with it. You put this stuff in the hands of brilliant people who have foundational skills, and you can take it really, really far. In terms of getting started, there are ways to access kilns for not very expensive, not to mention there are programs now. Bullseye has a program called Kiln Space, which allows you to go online and search your area for artists who have kilns that they loan out, kind of like an Airbnb. The classes at Vitreonics, we partner with studios to create spaces where people can go and work. So you don't have to immediately dive into buying all this equipment. But again, you can. You can get a few sheets of glass in a small kiln and be working in your studio tomorrow. Of course, I'm biased, but it's well worth whatever investment you're gonna make to really do something that stands out, to do something that's on the verge and the precipice of, I think, turning into a really valuable painting medium. Okay, as I finish this, I want to make a point of saying that I painted a lot on this piece. I've really done a pretty heavy, detailed, dark portrait here in glass paint. I will start pieces all the time that don't have any paint on them. I'll just use the glass because the material itself is so beautiful. So that to me is what's exciting, is you have all of these variables and you get to choose which ones you dial up and which ones you dial back. For today, I really wanted to focus on a really detailed painting, but I just really want you to know that that's not the only way to do it. And there are so many possibilities in terms of what this can be. Technology has allowed glass pieces to become public art pieces, to become architectural pieces, commercial. They're art pieces going up everywhere in glass, and they last longer than anything else. They're durable. It's an amazing luminous material that also stands the test of time. There's a reason why the color in those old cathedrals still is as vibrant today as it was 1,000 years ago. So I invite you to take a chance and try it. So our goal in doing this presentation and showing you a little bit about glass painting and talking about these techniques is to try to change your perception of what glass fusing is and what it can be. If I would have known 20 years ago what I know now, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have been fusing glass when I was 30 instead of being a painter. And so I hope that there are some of you along the way that might be at a point where you see this and go, okay, that's for me, or I want to try that. Explore the possibilities and share with us what you're up to, and reach out for any questions.